Indefinite pronouns as subjects. Have you ever wondered why we say everyone is invited but all are welcome? What makes the first sentence sound perfectly fine, while the second one may sound odd or even incorrect to some? The reason lies in the way we handle indefinite pronouns as subjects in English. Indefinite pronouns are tricky because they don't refer to specific people, places, or things. Instead, they stand for non-specific entities, making the choice of verb tense and number, singular or plural, more complicated. So, if you've ever been confused about whether to use is or are with words like everyone, someone, or none, you're not alone. In this lesson, we'll explore how indefinite pronouns function as subjects and how to master the subject-verb agreement when they appear. By the end, you'll know exactly how to form correct sentences using indefinite pronouns, no matter how tricky the sentence structure is. Let's dive in. Understanding indefinite pronouns. Indefinite pronouns are words that replace nouns without specifying exactly who or what they refer to. These pronouns serve a general, unspecified role in a sentence and include words like everyone, everything, anybody, nothing, several, and many. The key feature of these pronouns is that they don't point to specific people or things, which makes them different from other pronouns like he, she, or it. For example, consider the sentence, everyone loves ice cream. In this sentence, everyone is an indefinite pronoun. It's referring to a non-specific group of people, and it's understood that the group includes all individuals, without specifying any particular ones. The challenge arises when these pronouns take the place of subjects in sentences. So, when an indefinite pronoun functions as the subject, it can be singular or plural depending on the word it represents, which brings us to the tricky part. The subject-verb agreement. Indefinite pronouns that are always singular. Some indefinite pronouns are always singular, no matter what. These pronouns refer to one entity or thing, and they require singular verbs to maintain proper subject-verb agreement. Let's look at some examples of these singular indefinite pronouns: everyone, anybody, someone. Each, everything, nobody. These pronouns refer to a single individual or thing in an unspecified way. For instance, everyone is going to the party. Someone left their umbrella here. In both sentences, the indefinite pronouns, everyone and someone, require singular verbs, is and left, because they represent a single person or thing. It's important to remember that, even though these pronouns imply a larger group or a range of things, they are treated grammatically as singular. So, it's always essential to use singular verbs in sentences with these pronouns. Indefinite pronouns that are always plural. Some indefinite pronouns are plural, which means they refer to more than one entity. These pronouns require plural verbs, just as you would use are instead of is for plural subjects. Here are a few indefinite pronouns that are always plural: both, few, many, several. When these pronouns appear as the subject of a sentence, they need to be paired with plural verbs to maintain grammatical agreement. For example, both of the books are interesting. Many have already left the party. In these examples, both and many are plural indefinite pronouns, so the verbs, are and have, must also be plural to match the subject in number. Remember, plural indefinite pronouns can refer to a non-specific group, but they imply more than one thing or person. Indefinite pronouns that can be singular or plural. Some indefinite pronouns can be singular or plural, depending on the context. These pronouns require careful attention to the meaning of the sentence to determine whether to use a singular or plural verb. The most common of these pronouns are all, any, none, some. The number of the verb, singular or plural, depends on what these pronouns refer to. If they refer to something singular, use a singular verb. If they refer to something plural, use a plural verb. For example, all of the cake is gone. Singular, all of the cakes are gone. Plural, in the first sentence, all refers to a singular amount, the entire cake, so the verb is used. In the second sentence, all refers to multiple cakes, so the verb are is used. Similarly, none and some can function in either way, depending on whether they refer to singular or plural nouns. None of the milk is left. Singular, none of the cookies are left. Plural, in these examples, milk is singular, and cookies is plural, so the verbs adjust accordingly. Exceptions and nuances in subject-verb agreement. Though many indefinite pronouns follow the rules mentioned above, English is full of exceptions. One of the most common exceptions occurs with the pronoun none. While none typically requires a singular verb when referring to a singular noun, like none of the milk, it can also take a plural verb when referring to multiple things. None of the students have arrived yet. None of the information is accurate. In the first sentence, students is plural, so the verb have is used. In the second sentence, information is singular, so the verb is used. Another nuance involves pronouns like everyone, which, while grammatically singular, may seem plural due to the collective meaning. In informal speech or writing, some people mistakenly use plural verbs with these pronouns. For instance, you might hear, everyone are going to the game. While this sentence may sound natural in casual speech, it is grammatically incorrect. The correct form should be, everyone is going to the game. This error occurs because, as a rule, everyone is singular and should be paired with a singular verb. Indefinite pronouns in complex sentences. Indefinite pronouns can also show up in more complex sentence structures. When an indefinite pronoun is combined with other subjects or elements, the verb choice can become more complicated. Consider the sentence, some of the students in the class are absent today. Here, some is the indefinite pronoun, but it is qualified by of the students in the class. Since the object of the preposition students is plural, the verb are is used. However, if the sentence referred to a singular noun instead, the verb would need to change, some of the milk is spilled. In this case, milk is singular, so is used. This highlights the importance of analyzing the entire sentence to ensure that the subject-verb agreement matches. So, we've just explored the fascinating world of indefinite pronouns as subjects and their impact on subject-verb agreement. From singular pronouns like everyone to plural ones like both, we've covered the essentials of how to use these tricky words correctly. But what about even more complicated structures where pronouns mix with collective nouns, or cases where context changes the verb choice? How do we navigate those gray areas where rules seem to blur? The world of grammar is full of surprises, and understanding the finer details of indefinite pronouns will elevate your writing to the next level. Next time, we'll dive deeper into these complex scenarios and look at how other parts of speech interact with indefinite pronouns. You won't want to miss it. Until then, keep practicing your subject-verb agreement and mastering those tricky indefinite pronouns. The more you understand these rules, the more confident you'll be in your writing. Stay tuned for more.